Devil May Cry.
So, what kind of spurred the decision to return to the numbered Devil May Cry series after Ninja Theory's kind of reboot? Why did you want to go back and explore Dante and Nero's story again?
After DMC Devil May Cry, actually, we fully intended to work on a sequel to that, and we certainly wanted to. Unfortunately, for various reasons, that never got off the ground. In the meantime, I had come up with all these different ideas for what I thought would be cool if we did a sequel to Devil May Cry 4. Ideas for Dante and Nero, and ideas for a new character named V. So, coming up with the ideas for those characters, the new systems, and the story, we ended up making a Devil May Cry 5 as a sequel to Devil May Cry 4.
It's been over 10 years now since Devil May Cry 4. What's kind of the connective tissue between 4 and 5, because that's been such a long space of time?
Well, in the canon, it's been several years since Devil May Cry 4, and in that amount of time, a new enemy, maybe the strongest enemy we've ever seen in the Devil May Cry series, has appeared. And also in that time, Nero has grown, and he has kind of entered his prime. He's a little older, he's a little wiser, he's a little more mature, and physically he's also completely at his prime.
And also you've introduced a new character in V with this one. Could you tell us a little bit about him, his kind of background and his moveset?
In terms of V's story, he's actually the catalyst for the story of this game. This new enemy named Urizen has come to Redgrave City with this demon tree that we call the Qlipoth. And V has come to Dante, and he says to Dante, look, we need to take care of this enemy. And it's through that the story begins, and everybody heads towards the Qlipoth to take on Urizen.
And obviously 10 years in terms of video games itself is quite a long time, and you know, we've had a lot of other examples of the kind of hack and slash genre like Devil May Cry, DMC obviously, Bayonetta, things like that. Have you taken any lessons from those games and kind of folded them into DMC 5?
You know, yeah, in the last 10 years, a lot of different kinds of action games have come out. All kinds of different games, not necessarily just action games, but we've seen a lot of different games come out. We've seen a lot of amazing advancements made by different games. Some action games where story has become a key factor in the game. Some games where perhaps the way the camera works has become something that's evolved in a way that has really helped immerse the player in the game. And we saw that less and less games were kind of exhibiting the formula that we had always shown with Devil May Cry in a tight, really tight gameplay experience where you come up against some hard enemies and you try really hard, maybe you lose, maybe you don't, but when you clear that, you get this amazing satisfaction from beating it. So, in making Devil May Cry 5, our intent was very much to say, look, we still think that there's room for action games like this, and we think they can still be a lot of fun for people.
Obviously, you also have a lot of experience making fighting games, you know, Street Fighter Alpha and the like. Do you kind of miss that, or does working on Devil May Cry 5 kind of scratch that itch?
You know, I am completely happy and satisfied with being able to make, you know, Devil May Cry, being able to make Dragon's Dogma, these action games that are these amazing single-player experiences. But I have all kinds of ideas for what I could do with another fighting game. And I would certainly love the chance to make another fighting game. So if anybody wants to see me make another fighting game, I would suggest that you get online and you let Capcom know that that's something you want.
Do you have a specific preference for which series you'd like to revisit, or would you like to maybe explore a new IP of some sort?
You know, I got some interesting ideas for what I could do if I made like a fighting action game. And it really wouldn't be relevant whether it's Rival Schools or whether it's Street Fighter or Darkstalkers or even something completely new, but it's something I would love to do.
And obviously something else fans would like to see you do as well is Dragon's Dogma 2. Do you get sick of hearing about that, or is it something you would like to explore in the future?
I'd love to make another Dragon's Dogma. In fact, before we started making Devil May Cry 5, I was really thinking hard and long about, you know, do I want to make another Dragon's Dogma game at this point, or do I want to make a new Devil May Cry game? And at that point in time, I ended up choosing to do a Devil May Cry game. But I would still love to make another Dragon's Dogma if I could.
The fan reaction to DMC, which obviously you worked on with Ninja Theory, going back to that briefly, some of it was fairly negative, unfortunately. How do you feel the reaction to Devil May Cry 5 has been compared to how fans reacted to DMC?
You know, we announced at E3 in 2018, and up until that point, we were all really worried about what kind of reaction we were going to get. You figure, you look at these signs behind me, and we decided for the first time that we were going to scan real-life models to create these characters, which means that we were going to do a character art style that was a little different from what people were used to. And we were really worried about whether or not we were going to get any kind of negative reaction to that. But I'm happy to say that when we announced at E3, right off the bat, the reaction was incredibly positive. And it's been that way ever since E3. It's fantastic.
Just one last thing. There's a mention of something called a cameo system, kind of an online element. Could you tell us a little bit about that and how it works?
You know, for a long time, we've had a lot of people saying, we'd love to see some kind of online element to Devil May Cry. And so when we started making this game, I really thought to myself, well, I feel like Devil May Cry is the kind of game where the purpose of it is really to be a hardcore action game, a single-player experience that you really get engrossed in. Something that you get so engrossed in that you don't want anything to get in the way of that. So when I started making this game, I thought about what kind of online system could fulfill that. And that's how I came up with the cameo system. The idea that it's an online system that does not get in the way. An online system that we don't have any matchmaking or anything. And there's two different instances of the way that it's implemented. The first is that there are different areas in the game where you're going to be able to play online with somebody, and someone's actually going to be fighting with you in the same area. And in those instances, it's completely seamless, there's no matchmaking. You'll have people playing with you, you'll have your friends on your friends list will be prioritized, but you can't necessarily choose who you're going to play with at that point in time. And the other way that this is implemented is with different instances in the game where you'll see other players playing in the background. So for instance, in Mission 3, when you're playing as Nero, right at the beginning of the mission you'll see V in the background, and that's V from Mission 4. So that's either somebody else playing the game at that point in time, or it's ghost data. Either somebody else has played, or that somebody on the DMC dev team has played. And the idea there is that it's happening in the background seamlessly while you're playing. So you'll see them playing. And with any luck, they're doing some incredibly cool moves. And if you see them doing cool moves, maybe you want to rate them as stylish, at which point you'll then be able to rate them as stylish and they'll get a gold orb for doing that. But you never really know what part of the game you're in, where you could be being watched. So the thought behind that was, you don't know if you're being watched. So hopefully, because you may be being watched at any time, you want to try a little bit harder knowing that somebody might be seeing you. And it's all this kind of passive thing, that maybe somebody sees you and maybe they don't. But with any luck, that helps enhance their single-player experience. Devil May Cry 5 comes out March 8th on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, including Steam. You may think that we've shown almost everything there is to show about this game, but we still have a couple surprises up our sleeves, and we can't wait for you guys to find out just what those are. We hope you look forward to it.